visit in 1978 and asked his brother to get him a copy of the Quran because he had read the Bible, the Buddhist book, that of the Hindus, and so on and so forth. When he opened the Quran, it was Surah Al-Ikhlas that he read first. Kul, say! And Imam Sharawi says that one of the key signs of evidence of the veracity of the Quran, of the divine source of the Quran, is the instruction, Kul. Have you ever come across any writer writing a book and he tells himself, say? So the instruction say means a supreme power is instructing the prophet to behave in a particular manner. So when Katsimus read Kul Huwallahu Ahad, say he, Allah, is one. And the word Ahad in Arabic language connotes oneness. Wahid connotes oneness. But surprisingly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses Ahad to represent his oneness because in the language itself, Ahad has no plural or dual state. Then Montgomery Watch, in his book History of the Arabs, he has a chapter on monotheism, and he states that of the three Abrahamic religions, meaning Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, he says that Islam stands out unique and distinct with its monotheistic dogma. Number two, another element that makes this religion unique is the book called the Quran. The book that Gladstone in 1896, the then British Prime Minister, told the Parliament that tear that book into pieces. And one of the MPs just got up. He had a copy of the Quran and started tearing it into pieces physically. The Prime Minister said, "You are behaving very stupidly. That is not what I want you to do. I'm only speaking metaphorically. Because this book, if you tear it into pieces physically, this book is harbored in the minds and hearts of human beings. If you destroy all the copies on earth, tomorrow Muslims will produce new copies." But let me tell you, we are now colonial masters of Muslim lands. And what I want you to do, and I want you to know first, is that this book is a source of power for the Muslim, intellectually and spiritually. Without this book, the Muslim is empty. So what I want you to do is that you draw academic programs and curriculum that will be empty of this book. Because this book, so long as Muslims read it, because the interaction, our interaction with the Quran should be fourfold. We read, we understand, we apply, and then we disseminate. That is how we are supposed to deal with the book. We read, we reflect. So the Quran says, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Don't they reflect on the book, or there are padlocks on their hearts? So we are supposed to read the book, understand its contents, we apply the contents to our lives, and we share the message therein with others. This book, some Muslims do not even touch it the whole year. It is only in Ramadan, 2 days to Ramadan. Then the book in the hall, which has been beaten by dust. Then the Muslim will pick it up. Ramadan has all recharge. Meanwhile, this very Muslim who is supposed to read the book and understand it and apply it is doing so many wayward things which are the antithesis of the content of the book. Our behavior is like that of a donkey. And the Quran has described the donkey in Surah Al-Jumu'ah. What is a donkey? A donkey is an animal. It carries so much load when the master is using it, but the donkey doesn't know the content of the load. That's the nature of a lot of Muslims today. The book is lying on the shelf. They clean it up once in a year and then go through it. But let me tell you, frankly, even if you want to develop yourself spiritually, you don't have to pray 1,000 rak'ah in a day for 5 days and then you cut off for the whole year. It will never happen. Spirituality is built over time. So you should have a number of rak'ah you do at night, even if it is 3 times in a week, but consistently done. Because the Prophet said that the kind of work that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from his servant is aqalluhu wa adwamuhu. That is, no matter how small it is, but you do it on daily basis or consistent basis. So if you want to build yourself spiritually, you need to have maybe 2 rak'ah around 2 a.m. 3, just 2. I'm asking to pray the 11th, which was done by the Prophet. Just 2 rak'ah. The whole week, maybe choose 2 days. Those of you who are students, over the weekend, you do tahajjud. You do salat al-duha before you go to class around 6:30. When you go to the washroom, you just perform ablution, come to your room, and then pray 2 rak'ah and off. With time, you will develop some inner density of spirituality. So if you want to use this book should be read, the Quran should be read on a daily basis and reflected upon. It is that approach that strengthens the Muslim to ward off the enemy, to put the fear of God in the enemy. This book, Maurice Bucaille, that great French neurosurgeon, in his book, The Bible, the Quran, and Science. I don't see the book around these days, surprisingly. It is one of the most distinct and sterling book written by a scholar on the subject. In that book, page 124, after copiously quoting or mentioning scientific facts from the Quran, let me just give you only one. He quoted Quran chapter 21 verse 30, Surah Al-Anbiya, where Allah poses the question, أَوَلَمْ يَرَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَنَّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ كَانَتَا رَتْقًا فَفَتَقْنَاهُمَا وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ أَفَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Having the disbelievers see that the sky and the earth were one mass, and we broke them asunder. Yusuf Ali's translation, modern translation, and we separated them. And we have made water a source of sustenance for all living things. That is, how do you call it? Cytoplasm or protoplasm? For all living things. My beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, how did the Prophet get to know that the sky and the earth were one mass? Meanwhile, the scientists did not discover that until 100 years ago. At that time, 7th century, when all civilizations did not have access to this knowledge. So Maurice Bucaille, in his book, The Bible, the Quran, and Science, refers to that verse and poses or states categorically that the above hypothesis makes the claim that Muhammad was the author of the Quran untenable and unacceptable. How can a man living in an age that had not had access to this kind of knowledge, where did he get it from? Point number 3. This religion could have spoken about the Prophet, I could have spoken about Sharia. They all show distinctive qualities of this religion. But I want to end my khutbah with reference to the spirit of brotherliness in this religion. This is one whereupon Muslims, I don't know whether they do not know or they know. Because whenever we go and we do a study of any Islamic group, you hear of backbiting, you hear of undermining, you hear of lack of unity, you hear of tribalism. Meanwhile, the Prophet has said, that none of my followers dies with tribal element in him. Because if you worship Allah because of your tribe, you have no place in heaven. If you work for Islam in the name of your tribe, you have no place in heaven. But wherever we go, we see that Muslims are disunited. I have one serious stories that I hear among Jameson members. Last week, I was at Winneba and I came here to address SHS students who had been gathered at this Samo Senior High School. And I heard a story of this unity. The National General President had to go and settle the matter. If we are waiting for Islam, this religion was built on the foundation of love. Imagine the Prophet and his followers embarking on Hijrah. Abdurrahman bin Auf, he was one of the richest, leaving everything he had in this world in Makkah. And the Prophet said,